Hello everyone, welcome back to Tech with Kobo, your go-to channel for tech skills, virtualization, and all things IT. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to import or restore a backed up virtual machine into VMware Workstation Pro on a new system. So whether you are recovering a project or just moving virtual machines between different systems, this step-by-step guide will help you get your virtual environment restored and running in no time. So without wasting much time, let's dive right in and bring back our VM back into life. So before a virtual machine can be restored, there has to be an existing configuration files for an already backed up virtual machine. In my case, I have the configuration files stored on a USB thumb drive, which I'll be connecting to the system. But before I do that, let me take you to my file explorer for us to have a look at the volumes that we have on the system in order not to confuse them when I connect the drive to the system. So these are the volumes we have: local disk C, volume D, E, I, H, and then a Google Drive that has been synced locally to this system with volume letter G. So the config files of the VM that we are going to restore could have been stored in this cloud location. But in my case, it is on a USB thumb drive, which I am going to connect before we continue the process. So this is the USB thumb drive labeled as Kobo with volume letter F. Here we have a directory on this volume labeled as hp-env_backup. So these are the config files of the VM that we are going to import. It contains the open virtualization file format, which means that the VM was exported by using the OVF format, and it has a virtual disk file also attached to it. So I'm going to come to the VMware Workstation Management Console. Here we can see that we already have some virtual machines in the library. Some of them are also open, that is the MacBook Pro and Dell Inspiron. So after importing our virtual machine, it is going to add up to the list of already existing virtual machines here in the library of the VMware Workstation. So in order for you to import a virtual machine, you will go to Home and then click Open a Virtual Machine. Here it gives you the pop-up which opens your file explorer for you to navigate to where you have your configuration files of the VM that you want to import. You can also go to File and then click Open. It does the same thing for you. And then lastly, also you can press Ctrl+O on your keyboard to also open this same pop-up. So here I'll click the Kobo drive, double click the hp-env, and then the system automatically pops up the hp-env open virtualization file. So I'll click to insert it here and then click Open. So here it says enter the name of the virtual machine. So I'm going to enter hp-env, and then I click Browse to specify a location where I'm going to save the config files of the VM on this local system. So as usual, I'll go to virtual machines and then I'll click Make New Folder and type hp-env as the name of the VM. So I'll click OK and then click Import to begin the process. So this doesn't take too long at all, but it depends on the size of the configuration files of the VM that you are importing. Some VMs are of a very huge size because of the activities or the configurations that have been done in that VM, and then also the size of the virtual hard disk that is attached to the VM. So that will determine the size of your VM and how long or how fast it takes to complete the process. So let's wait whilst our VM undergoes the process of importing it into our system. Now, if your VM successfully imports and you try to power it on and it fails to boot, then there is a problem with the configuration files. So maybe you have to go and copy the configuration files again. Sometimes there could even be a problem with the external storage device that you use to copy the files, or probably the files might have been infected by a virus or something. So you need to go and have a second look at the files and copy them again before you try to import it. So our VM is done importing, and these are the specifications of the VM. So we have 4 GB of memory space, 2 virtual cores for the CPU, and 40 GB of virtual hard disk space. So if the system on which the VM has been imported has a lower capacity or lower specification, then you can go to edit virtual machine settings and go and scale down the specifications of the VM to fit the hardware components or the hardware specifications of the host machine. So here for the memory, you could have clicked, or you can click 2 GB to reduce the capacity, or if you have higher capacity for your memory, you can increase it accordingly. You can do same for the CPU cores. So here you click this drop down and then increase the number of virtual cores for the VM. Accordingly, you can do same for the virtual hard drive. Here the size is 40 GB. You can expand it over here by clicking the expand button and then enter a size, let's say 45 GB, and then you click expand to expand or increase the size of the hard disk. So I'm going to go ahead and click cancel, and then click cancel over here in order not to affect the changes. So I can click power on this virtual machine to turn on the VM and use it for anything that I want to use this VM for. So thank you so much for watching. If this video is helpful, kindly do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more tech tutorials going forward. Drop any questions or video suggestions in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. I would love to have your feedback and improve in the next video. Thank you so much once again for watching. Until next time, keep learning and keep building all the time.